Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel. And I'll have to say that the Windows 10, Windows 11 debate gets quite emotional at times with people. It's very interesting to see how, people react to different decisions. And, some of them would I agree. And some of them, it's hard to. I have my own way of thinking on things, like everybody else, and everybody's entitled to their own comments. And I think here is a place of free speech. I mean, everybody that posts, whether you are, hate Windows 11, love Windows 11, want Windows 10 to stay, or want to go to Linux, or are you just a Linux user, you have a voice. You're allowed to speak. I mean, it's a free world, especially here. I think it's a free channel. Um, the question, actually, a few comments that I've had about when we talked about the numbers for Windows 11, that now Windows 11 is officially, has more market share than Windows 10. And there's a few things we're going to mention in here I want to talk because there was quite a few comments. So the first one was, you seem to be happy that Windows 11 is now taken over. I'm not happy or unhappy. I'm pretty neutral. I just observe numbers, and Windows 11 had to at some point reach this number, and it is now. It's not a question of am I happy or unhappy. It's the way things go, and I just report it. Personally, I love Windows 11. I got no problem with it. All my computers are on Windows 11, and they work fine, and I am very happy. And we're moving on. And I'm an enthusiast, a real PC Windows enthusiast, which means I like seeing new versions of Windows. I like, if they say tomorrow, hey, Windows 12 is coming, I'll be very happy. I can't wait to see it. And that's the way it is. But it doesn't mean that I hope Windows 10 will die. Or some people attach that, like if I say I like Windows 11, it must mean I hate Windows 10. It's not at all. I love Windows 10. I loved Windows 10. I do find that it looks old today. That's my personal opinion on it. Now, where I totally understand and reach every user out there that is on 10 still, that say, well, my PC's a perfectly good PC, fast, runs Windows well. Why should I buy a new PC? I totally understand it, because that is what most standard users are. It's just, well, I'm happy with my machine. I'm happy with Windows 10. And I understand that moving on. When I was a tech guy, the first things that were, kind of sad to tell anyone was, well, now you're on Windows 7 with your machine. So I'm sorry to say that, HP or whatever company didn't make drivers for your printer, and that your printer won't work, and you need a new printer if you want to have a printer. And of course, I totally understand. Well, my printer works. Why should I buy a new one? Yeah, I know. And these are decisions that are made by companies. Windows 11 has this arbitrary minimum requirement that a lot of users hate, and they say, well, my Windows, those that know how to do it, that have changed and moved their unsupported PC to Windows 11, know that their computer probably runs Windows 11 very well. And they will tell you, well, I don't understand the minimum requirements of Microsoft. Yeah, well, they took that decision. It's very arbitrary. I totally agree. Personally, I wish minimum requirements were close to, being the same as Windows 10, so that more Windows 10 users could move on to Windows 11 without having to change their computer. I totally agree with that. So, it's very difficult because people kind of put a tag on you of, well, you seem like, or I have the impression that. No, I like to move on. And I like to have new operating systems. And like, I'll wait for Windows 12 when it happens, if it happens. And I'll be happy to see what's the new things that we're going to have. I'm not a AI aider in Windows. AI is everywhere, anyways, already. And even when you're using Linux, as soon as you're on the internet, you're on AI stuff. So deal with it, because thinking, oh, well, I'm Linux, I don't have all that AI. Yeah, you're going on the internet. You have AI stuff. It's online. That's the difference. But it's there. And AI will reach Linux at some point. Linux cannot just stay put and not move on to that, because then it's just old operating systems from the old days that isn't worth it. It has to move on too. So there will be distros with AI type stuff in it. It will have to happen, but because that's the way manufacturers and companies are moving on to us. Now, here I'm not talking about the good or the bad of AI, because obviously there's a lot of discussion on that. I'm just talking about the fact that, they're all pushing us there and we'll have to be there. That's it, whether you like it or not. And yeah, well, the PC market's moving on. And for those that are unhappy and saying, well, there should be some we should sue Microsoft and so on. Microsoft has been that way forever. It's just that a lot of people don't see that before Windows 10, you had to have a new PC on almost every version of Windows or close, because of the minimum requirements were always being pushed forward. And so, and I understand the economy behind it. The fact that a lot of people don't have a lot of money, and that a PC, to meet minimum requirement, it's not that it's that expensive, but it's still a expensive thing to buy for a lot of people. So, it's that's the way it is, and that's the way things are, personally. As for the rest, a lot of people are like, well, I had one guy just put, I think he posted 50 prove it in the comments of people saying, I got no problem with Windows 11. I got no problems with Windows 11 in any machine. 95+% of people have no problems with Windows 11. No, it doesn't have blue screens of death and all sorts of things like that, or crashes or freezes. If it does on your machine, there's something not right. Just like Windows 10. It is stable. Honestly, it is very stable. And I've never had really much of any glitches, except weirdness from certain updates sometimes with the way things work. But I haven't had, and I don't have any problems, pretty much. So, and always remember that 99% of problems in Windows are not Windows related. They are somewhere else. The software you installed. There's someone that came back to me that's been here watching videos for a long time and said, well, I can't anymore because you're not talking about all of these tools to fix the registry. And, that's how you have a good running Windows. The funniest thing is that he's the guy that always complains that Windows is having problems. Why? Because he's using all of these useless tools, and it breaks Windows, doesn't fix it. And the more tools like that you mix it together, the worse it gets. You don't need tools. It's all right the way it is, without any other downloads. So, it's a question of everybody, depending on where you are, what you want. A standard user, of course, wants to keep his PC as long as possible because it's fine for them. I understand that. But as an enthusiast, I am one that wants to see the new stuff. And, when they announced Windows 12, oh, cool. Now, there are things that are, like I said, it's arbitrary for the minimum requirements on Windows 11. Yet, Microsoft isn't preventing you from using Windows 11 on an unsupported PC. They kind of leave that loophole functioning. So, but yeah, that's more for, a more advanced user, for sure. Yeah, so it's a very emotional debate, I think, right now between a lot of people. It's emotional when you got your good running PC. You're like, yeah, but why can't I? That was for a long time. I remember buying PCs, doing gaming, and okay, I need a new graphics card. I need this new thing. I need this new that, because I can't run the latest games. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.